Okay guys, so here's the deal. We've spent weeks testing and trying to dial in different brake combinations to make this thing stop. The U forces, some of the Z forces, and even some of the C forces don't stop that well. And we're trying to come up with a solution. And maybe we have it today, maybe we don't. We're gonna get into what we found and what we're gonna do next and test it. This time we're gonna do a video because I've done a lot of testing. So we've tried different calipers. Here's a caliper. We made, these are dual piston calipers. These are dual piston calipers. I made brackets and jigs and got them to fit. While they do work, they don't stop this thing any better than stock. So here's a stock caliper. This is the stock caliper. We've tried different, master cylinders, but we haven't tried this master cylinder. This one is supposed to be different. It's supposed to hopefully give us the volume that we need to stop this thing. But in order for me to test anything, I like to go back to the basics because we now know that switching to dual piston calipers are not the answer. They're not going to take care of the stopping problem. I've tried them. I've tried 4 different types of calipers on this thing. This time we're going to try this master. But in order for us to try that and see if it makes any sort of a change, we got to yet again go back to the stock brakes. Now, mind you, I have brand new brake pads, brand new front and rear. Brakes have been bled. There's zero air. I'm a mechanic for a living, or used to be a mechanic for a living. So I know, and I have the tools and the equipment to make sure that there's no air in these lines. So let's get this dual piston caliper off of here, this one and that one, and we're gonna go ahead and get the stock calipers back on it, and we're gonna put the master in there and bleed it, take it for a ride, and see if that changes anything. If that does, guys, we will have this upgraded master cylinder on our website. If you like what we do here, pick up your merch, shirts, R.N.G shirts, hats, hoodies, the whole 9 yards, parts, accessories on our website, www.rngperformance.net. Guys, supporting us helps us do what we do because this stuff costs money. I can guarantee you that I went through over $1,000 in brake parts and have failed each time. So I think it boils down to the master cylinder being too weak to put enough pressure to these things. Because it's not just the XL that stops like crap. It's the regular U force. It's some of the Z forces. As I said earlier, it's not just this model. So let's go ahead and get the brake line undone. That way I can drain all the fluid out of these lines. Start fresh. Let's go ahead and do that. And guys, we are going to show you how to install this master. Whether it works or not, we're going to show you how to install it. Oh, come on. I need this. That way, if you ever have to replace one, you know how to do it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and let that drip there, do its thing. Switch tools here. Get it on there. And yes, all the slides are free and all that stuff. I just went through them. They're dirty. I didn't clean them though. And the reason why I'm letting all the fluid drain down here is so it doesn't drain up top whenever we take the master off of it. Work smarter, not harder. Now we're going to take our banjo bolt, our 2 copper slides, put it in there like so, crank her down. Make sure she's tight. Now we're gonna go ahead and do the other one that same way. Guys, there's honestly no reason why these calipers are not beefy enough to stop this. They truly are. They have a big piston, got big pads. There's no reason why they can't do it. So I'm thinking it's all in the master. Hopefully we're able to fix that today. Hopefully I found one that's gonna work. Now it's time to remove the master cylinder. But the first thing we wanna do before we even mess with this is come in here under this pedal. Right here's your brake pedal. You're gonna wanna remove this rod. Right on the other side of it is a cotter pin, cotter key. And you're gonna pull that pin and that's all you gotta do. So next step, we're gonna wanna disconnect our brake switch, which is super easy. Right here on this frame rail is gonna be 2 zip ties. Once you remove those zip ties, follow this wire up. Connector is gonna be right there, literally right there, right there. Might not be able to see it on camera, but it's literally right there. Super easy to get to. So that would be our second step. Next step would be to remove these 2 hoses. And we're gonna do that now. Get yourself a pair of pliers, grab these hose clamps like this, move them like this. Then you're gonna wanna wiggle them off. If they don't wanna come off, give them a little twist. They should come right off. Or come off. They should come right off. There we go. Just a little bit. There's a little bit of brake fluid that can come out of there. Probably not gonna be much. Oh, I ripped that hose. Uh-oh. It's okay though. It's alright, it's plenty long enough, it'll still work. I just gotta get my wire cutters. And that's for the rear. That's why it's still full of fluid. But it's okay. We'll want to clean that up here in a bit. All right. So the next step is going to be to remove these 2 bolts. They are 14 millimeter. And pull this out of here. Got the brake line, so pull it out just a little bit. We'll be able to get a wrench in there. Now we can get a wrench in there and maneuver this. Now it's just a little tricky because of this wire. We're gonna wanna feed this wire back through here. And we're gonna kinda wanna bunch it up. That way you can spin it as we spin this sensor, because you don't wanna twist this wire. You can leave it all together like so, but make sure you save your copper washer. Cut our zip ties to our brake line here. This goes to the rear. That will allow you to get it out. Now we got to get a wrench. So it's going to be an 11 millimeter wrench here. Come on, Cletus. Okay, we'll take that out. Our new master, get it slid in there.
Do I need to move?
Yeah. There we go. Our line, get it up here. Get it started. Can you see in there?
Yep.
And then we're gonna crank that line down tight. All right, now there we go. She's going. Now we get our wrench in there. Want to get this nice and tight. Okay, she's tight. Get our 2 bolts in there now. There we go. Remember that line we ripped? Easy fix. That one went back here. Oh, come on, Cletus. Get back there. Okay. Boom. All right. And that's how you change a master cylinder. Hopefully this upgraded one works. All right, guys. Now what we got to do is fill it full of fluid and bleed all fours. Well, I know she's bone dry. Bone dry, ladies.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and open this bleeder and we're gonna let her gravity bleed. Look at that. Air, but she's already bleeding. We're gonna let that bleed for a little bit and then we're gonna go around and do all the brakes that way. Look at all that air coming out. That's good. So these are actually gravity bleeding very nicely. So this one's still pushing out some air. Got the other one done. No air came out. So pushed out quite a lot of air, but at the end of it, no air came out. So they're gravity bleeding pretty good. We'll start with that and then probably put Laura in and pump it up, put some pressure, and do it that way as well. So after we went around and gravity bled everything, we put Laura in. I'm going to tell you guys the bleeding procedure for CFMOTO. For each wheel. Because once you get done bleeding, gravity bleeding, you're not going to have any pressure. We do now, but you're not going to have any pressure. So she has to go ahead and release that. Okay. For each wheel, you're going to have to slowly, very slowly, press, hold, and then open up the bleeder like that. Let it bleed out. Close the bleeder. She'll have to release the pedal again.
And then go back down.
And then go back down slowly and keep repeating that until you have pressure. Now, you may have to bounce back and forth between the two wheels because these lines are tied together in the one. So you have to bounce back and forth, but eventually you'll get it. We got nothing back here yet, but we got brakes up front. Guess we'll find out. I will say this though, it's a way better pedal than we ever had. Wouldn't you say so?
Yes.
Heck yeah, it's time for a ride. You coming? Oh, wow.
I told you.
Oh, wow.
I gotta put on my seatbelt real quick.
Check out how smooth this is. Oh, yeah. R.N.G. Performance. The only kit there is that's that smooth, isn't it, baby?
Yes.
All right.
All right. See if we got brakes, guys.
Did it just lock up a tire?
I don't know.
Yeah, it locked
It
up
locked
here.
up a tire? Good.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that last clip you seen, which was forever ago, like days ago, we're back at it now. I got Ronnie with me. In my short video that I put out, a few of you guys pointed out some things, which I knew. That tire there locked up, this tire here freewheeled. Well, in that clip, we weren't fully done bleeding, and I wanted to take it just to see if it made an improvement, because we had an improvement in pedal, and it did make an improvement. Obviously, we still have some air to bleed out in this system, so we're gonna do that today and then take it for another drive. Also, a lot of you have pointed out my camber. So I know camera exaggerates this camber. It makes it look like it's a huge amount. It's not. It's 2 degrees. The reason why I gave this thing camber is because it's such a heavy machine, and I drive fast. I drive aggressive in the trails. So with that being said, this thing used to push in the turns. Even on the street, it didn't like to turn sharp, you know, going fast. I like to drive fast. I'm just that way, just me. So I gave it 2 degrees camber, and she rides like she's on rails. I'm not even kidding. So that's why that's like that. If that bothers anybody, I'm sorry, but that's why those have that camber. That, and the steering wheel is not exactly straight sitting here, so one tire might look like it's got a lot more camber, especially with the camera here. It kind of does that. Makes it exaggerated. It's not though. It's only 2 degrees. I said it myself. So Ronnie, what do you say we put your leg to work and we pump some brakes and get some air out of the system and go for another drive and see if this actually made an even better improvement? I know right now the way it sits, it's a way better improvement because it wouldn't lock nothing up stock, and we bled and bled and bled and bled and bled the brakes, and stock it wouldn't, you know, nothing. This, even with a little air in the system left, locks them up, and we got a pedal. So we're gonna go around it and finish bleeding that, and then we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got those re-bled. I got the e-brake to actually work good, really good. It locks up the rear tires pretty good. Let's go for a round around the building here. Yeah. Let's see. Go down this hill. Yeah. It does lock them up pretty good. Oh yeah, she does way better. You hear that? Heck yeah, that's better, way better. Oh yeah, hold on. Look, she locked them up. All right. Let's see what she does out here. Much better. All right, guys. So as you've seen, putting in that new master cylinder, got all the brakes bled. I showed you guys the procedure to do these brakes. Now I will say getting air out was kind of a pain in the rear end. And what I found that actually worked the best is releasing the pedal. Well, pump it up, release it, crack the bleeder, and then push the pedal. That's not CFMOTO procedure, but if you crack the bleeder, push down the pedal, tighten the bleeder, release the pedal, do that, it seems to get the air out even faster. It seems to get it out even faster, guys. So that worked for us. Definitely spent quite a bit of time bleeding this. I have a power bleeder and I did use it, but it leaks around. It's made more of a mess than what it's worth. I am going to make my own cap, my own tool for CFMOTO power brake bleeding. But nonetheless, it did help. Now, I will say, on this XL, these are not 100% like perfect, but they are a lot better than stock. That I will say. It never stopped that good before. This is a big, heavy machine. We are turning 30s, so there is some stuff to be expected there. So I will have this master cylinder on my website for sale, www.rngperformance.net. We're not going to stock it. You order it, I'll order it, and we'll get it to you. It's not going to be a part that we're going to stock. It'll take probably about 2 weeks for me to get it, maybe quicker, but average of 2 weeks for me to get that part and then ship it to you, so probably 3 weeks. And it will help. It is not perfect. They could be a lot better, but I don't know what else to do. I've tried new master cylinders. I've tried different brake calipers. The dual piston calipers don't make any more of a difference than what the stock ones did, so we just stayed with stock. There's no sense in buying them when they're not gonna make a difference. Is what it is, unfortunately. But I will keep playing and see if we can get it dialed in a little more better. But honestly, that's better than stock, so I'm gonna leave it. We do have drilled rotors being made. I don't know when those are gonna be done, and I am sure that those are gonna help a lot more. But again, we'll have to get them made, get them tested, and get them out to the public. But we do have those coming. I'd like to thank you guys for watching this video. You make your judgment whether the master cylinder is gonna make a difference for you or not. It did make a difference for us. Still not the way that I would like it, but it does stop fairly aggressively and a lot better than what it did stock. So use that to your advantage, but most importantly, I would complain to CFMOTO about this issue and get them to do a recall or something on these brakes because they're not safe stock. And we've tried it all. It's probably a combination between the master and this and that, but we've tried different masters, but I think you'd have to have a much bigger master to do what it's supposed to do. Other than that, we did improve it. I'd say 20%, which is better than nothing. So, all right, guys, peace out. God bless. We'll see you in the next one.